Ladies and gentlemen, this man right here is Confucius. He started Confucianism, which taught that family relationships and ancestor worship were the most important things in society. Confucianism flourished over the other philosophies for some time in China, but as China moved to a more of a trading society, it began focusing more on trading instead of family relationships as Confucius taught. Another issue with trading was that many more cultures and philosophies began mixing with Chinese culture, for example, Buddhism. This here is Siddhartha Gautama, or Buddha. He started the philosophy of Buddhism, which taught to detach from the material world to reach nirvana and enlightenment. This philosophy seems to be almost a polar opposite of Confucianism. Now, Buddhism is gaining some serious popularity in parts of China. However, as I am a Confucianist, Sui Dynasty leader, it is my duty to preserve Confucianism and its teachings such as filial piety for the good of my society. So we must have debate to determine how I will attempt to resolve these conflicts between Buddhism and Confucianism. And, of course, I will be the moderator for this debate. Let's get started, shall we? Confucius, state your claims and beliefs.
Well, the people of China should have a strong respect for their elders and should have strong filial piety and relationships to sustain their success. Also, I was here first, so I deserve to be the only one here.
Okay, thank you. Now, Buddha, what are your claims?
You caught me in my meditation time. You see, people should be detached from the world and focus on reaching nirvana, for all things material will eventually be no longer, so why even bother?
Thank you, Buddha. I have a question now, Confucius. What do you think of the whole merchant class uprising? For that is something I must deal with as, well, if I want to keep my society having filial piety.
I'm very opposed to this trading merchant class movement thingy. It goes directly against my teaching of filial piety, as you stated before.
I agree. I do have an idea that has been put into practice in some places. It is that we enforce rules that force students to respect their elders and not travel as much. An example of this are the school regulations established by Masters Cheng and Tung.
That is a good start. I like this resolution already.
Okay, back onto your philosophies, Khan. Let's have you two go at it for a bit. Buddha, is there anything you would like to say to Confucius?
Yes, in fact. Confucius, why is it that you stress respecting something that will eventually demise?
Well, Buddha, it is because if you have strong family ties, then as a family community you will succeed as a farming society. And it is important to worship your elders because they're the ones that will shape you into the person that you will eventually become.
So perhaps we could make a new philosophy or revise Confucianism to have the strong belief of filial relationship, but also within that allow for personal meditation time so one can become more enlightened him or herself. However, unlike Neo-Confucianism in which you will obtain nirvana through being respectful, you are to be respectful and meditate personally to reach the ultimate goal of nirvana. Or, what if instead of individual meditation, people practiced family meditation, so there was still the family relationship aspect and the meditations aspect?
Well, both of those resolutions would provide an alternative for mine and Confucius's followers, so I guess that would help your conflict. But you would not be able to support these philosophies as sects of my philosophy or of Confucius's philosophy.
That is indeed true. May I ask Mr. Gautama a question?
Yes, please do.
Well then, Mr. Gautama, what exactly does reaching nirvana do for you?
No one calls me Mr. Gautama, but whatever. Nirvana or enlightenment, which I have reached, makes you one with the universe, and it is this reward of afterlife that my followers strive for.
So we could incorporate some nirvana or afterlife reward with Confucius's filial piety to give followers something to strive for. How does that sound, Confucius?
Well, wouldn't that just be Neo-Confucianism?
I guess so, but that doesn't make my resolution invalid. We could make Neo-Confucianism more popular and perhaps support it like a new way to enlightenment to Buddhist believers to attempt to convert them.
You absolutely could do that, but that would eliminate both of our philosophies. However, it would definitely resolve your conflicts to just make a middle ground for you all to follow.
Well, I think that is the conclusion of our debate. Confucius and Buddha, I appreciate both of your questions and arguments toward each other, for that helped me and my fellow Sui leaders to find resolutions to the ongoing conflicts of which both of your philosophies have been causing in our empire.